What's going on YouTube? I'm Jody Black and welcome to my YouTube channel where we talk about everything finance. You read the title, we're talking about retirement today. Now if you don't think retirement is for you or saving, investing in retirement is not for you, you're sadly mistaken. Experts say by the time you turn 35, you should have twice what you make annually in your retirement account. Now by the age of 65, it's said to say that we spend up to $45,000 a year. So if you think that investing in a retirement account is not for you, you are sadly mistaken. If you're just saving money in your traditional bank account, which is 0.01%, you're doing it all wrong. A high yield savings account at 2%, you're doing it all wrong. You need to be investing in a retirement account. Now, with all that being said, I want to talk about two retirement accounts, which is the traditional IRA and your Roth IRA, your individual retirement accounts. We'll speak about the Roth IRA first, and what I want to say about the Roth IRA is that you'll be able to invest up to $6,000 in a Roth IRA, post-tax money, meaning that money is already taxed. You'll be putting it in a retirement account and you'll be gaining compound interest until you're about 59 and a half. You'll be able to take that money out at 59 and a half. And with a Roth IRA, if you feel like you have to take that money out, it does give you that flexibility, meaning before 59 and a half, you could take out what you contributed to that Roth IRA. But if you want to take out the earnings on that money, you will be penalized up to 10%. And the amount of money that you earned will be taxed as well. Okay, so you really have to think about that when you're thinking about your retirement account. You can't take money out until you're about 59 and a half with a Roth IRA. And if you do, it's only the money that you contributed. All right, so you really want to think about that. Now, when you turn about 70, you have to take that money out. They're making you take money out of that retirement account. And I don't know why, but they're making you take that money out of the retirement account. So you really want to think about that. This is post-tax money with a Roth IRA. You have flexibility to take the money that you contributed out. But if you do take out the earnings on that money, you will be penalized at 10%. Meaning if you have $50,000 in that retirement account, at 10%, they'll be penalizing you up to $5,000 on that money. So that's something that you want to keep in your mind. So that's the Roth IRA. You don't have really any tax benefits with the Roth IRA. But one thing I do want to tell you is they will give you leeway if you need that money, if you want to buy your first home, or you want to use that money for higher education, or if you have medical expenses. That's the only way that you can take money out without being penalized. So that's the Roth IRA. Now I want to tell you what may be the best decision for you, but let's talk about the traditional IRA, the traditional individual retirement account. With the traditional retirement account, what happens is it's pre-tax money, meaning that money hasn't been taxed and it will be taxed later when you turn the age of 59 and a half, right? So this is where the money has not been taxed yet until you turn 59 and a half. So they'll be taxing the whole lump sum of that money, okay? Now, it's the same thing as the Roth IRA where you can contribute $6,000 a year, nothing more than that, $6,000 a year on pre-tax money. Now, it's the same thing when you turn about 70 years old, you have to be taking money out of that traditional IRA, okay? So the only big difference between these two accounts is that the tax benefits on the traditional account, right? The traditional account, you can have like a tax write-off with the traditional account, but with the Roth IRA, you cannot, all right? So this is what you want to keep in your mind. Also, I didn't mention this, but with the Roth IRA, if you're an individual that makes up to 140K a year, you cannot contribute to this account. Or if you're married, you cannot contribute to this account if you make up to more than $226,000 a year. So you really want to keep that in your head, all right? But with the traditional IRA, keep in mind that this is pre-tax money that has not been taxed. It'll be taxed later after 59 and a half, okay? So this is a great option when you're thinking about investing, right? But one thing I would say is to make sure that you have an emergency fund up to 6 months. Emergency up to 6 months before you even start investing into a retirement account. This is the knowledge I want to give you. All right. So how do you compare on which one you should go with? The main thing you want to ask yourself is this, right? do you think that you'll be making more money now as you're young? Then you should be going with a traditional IRA. But if you think that you'll be making less money when you're older, you want to go with your Roth IRA, right? Because this is what you want to think about. That money will be taxed later on, right? The things you want to think about is your interest rate going to be higher when you retire, okay? You really want to keep that in your mind, because if your interest rate is higher when you retire, then the Roth IRA is the best situation for you, because you know what you're getting taxed now. If you're getting taxed 33% on your money, then you go with the Roth IRA. If you think that money is going to be taxed at a higher interest rate when we turn older, or when we're older, 30, 40 years from now, when we're older, is that tax going to be higher? That's what you want to ask yourself when you're going with a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA. All right, I hope I helped you with this knowledge. And please, if you're someone around my age, which I'm 26, or if you're a little younger, please invest in a retirement account. But before that, 6 months of the emergency fund is what you want to do before you start investing. I'm Jody Black, and I hope I gave you some learning knowledge. Peace.